Well, thanks for the opportunity today to provide a presentation. As Bernie said, I've spent several years helping businesses of all sizes automate or training them how to automate and systematize their businesses, okay? So my talk today will just be sharing a couple of those tips and again, to help you achieve more success, balance, and freedom. And these are kind of processes that you would use to grow your businesses. Bear with me here, okay. So objectives, learn a little bit about my background and about the Productivv Academy and what we do. Also, we're going to share a few specific tips on selecting business systems, which is a challenge for many business owners. And also you will learn the best method, again, to achieve more success, but again, it's a daily routine, it's a daily habit that every business owner, it doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or if you have 1,000 employees, the principle is the same. Okay, so in terms of my background, I've spent about 20 years plus helping businesses of all sizes to automate and systematize, which included some coaching. There's definitely a correlation. The more that the business owners learn to do this, the greater their success. Clients range, again, from solopreneurs to some of Canada's largest companies. And what I've discovered over that time, there are many different methods that companies use to do this. But what I've discovered is that they all seem to point back to one core method, which is what I'm going to show today. And what we've also done is we've adapted and simplified these automation methods and tools so that small business can use them. If you look at a lot of this stuff online, for example, and do searches on it, it can get quite complicated, but at the end of the day, it's actually quite simple. So about the Business Academy, which we've recently launched in the last few months, it's designed specifically for business owners that are working in their business, they're busy every day. We do weekly workshops to help you progress through the different concepts. Again, we use these simple and proven methods that we've learned from big industry that works for any size of a business, but we've adapted it for small businesses. So essentially, anyone going through the program is that you're becoming a business automation designer / specialist, okay, which is one of the most important roles that you have. And we also offer it in our core product is affordable group accountability workshops. So again, you're learning tips and techniques and on a weekly basis, you're implementing in your business and you're actually getting the results right away. So that's how we operate. So the business owner's dilemma. Most business owners I meet, they tell me they're spending way too much time resolving issues because of the variations in the processes. Most of them have too many manual, inefficient processes as opposed to being automated. And that leads to low profitability for most. Most people struggle to maintain a profit and they work way too long hours. So what I'm going to be showing you today is one method to help resolve all of these things. So first thing, business systems. One of the stats is that 80% of startups, both in North America, applies to Canada, US as well, typically fail within 5 years. As opposed to franchises, like your McDonald's, Tim Hortons, name it, typically 80 to 90% of those franchises succeed. So what is the key difference? That key difference is systems. It's automated systems. So I propose that one of the business owner's most important jobs is learn how or to acquire the skills to systematize and automate their business. Again, clients who I have who actually buy into this and actually learn it and start practicing it, their level of success goes way up. So the first thing, business systems. It's a challenge for most business owners. The problem is that there are too many options out there and there's a system for every business problem. Which is the best system to select? It's difficult enough for me, as so I consider myself somewhat of an expert in this, But for most people, it's really difficult to know. So what you end up doing is going online and making a best guess at that. The thing is, most systems typically do one thing well. They don't integrate well together. So you end up with situations where you're entering data many times, very difficult to report on things, very difficult to automate your business. And the paradox today is that most businesses become less productive due to many poorly selected systems. I think anyone that's been in business for a while will agree that getting a business and growing that business and having it work in a productive way is definitely a challenge today. So a few tips on selecting a business system. The first thing is that we look for is total cost of ownership. If you have many little systems, most of them want their $20 to $25 a month. Before you know it, many of the people that I meet are spending $200, $300, $400, $500 a month when it could be a lot less than that. The second thing you look for is a scope of integrated business solutions. So when we talk about a business solution, could be email, a calendar, your financial system, a system like MailChimp, for sending emails to your clients. Typically one that has these things that are all integrated together already is definitely a pro in selecting a system. The next one is user friendliness. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much capability the system has, but it also has to be user friendly, and that's definitely a big factor in what you select. 4, you want to select softwares that already have a broad base of existing clients. The reason for that is that all systems have many problems. If it has a broad base of existing clients, typically many of the issues have already been resolved before you get to them. So most things work for you. Another one is flexibility. We all start businesses. We really don't know which direction it's going to go in the future. So we don't want to be in a situation where we're changing our business systems every couple of years because our business is changing. It needs to have the flexibility to grow. The other one is scalability. Of course, we all want our businesses to grow very, very big. The reality is that some softwares out there work very well when you're small, but when you grow, you have to go to different systems. So it's a good idea to select something that's also scalable, that will grow with you for many years. You also need to look for systems that have very good support. If it doesn't, you'll find that it can get very expensive. So support is definitely a big factor. Okay, so this will be tip number 2. And I don't know who's familiar with this, but the concept is called Lean or Kaizen, which was invented by Toyota many years ago. It helped them to become the most profitable car production company in the world. And it's typically, in its simplest form, it's a systematic method to continuously improve your processes with an emphasis on systematic. Most of us as business owners, we're always looking for little ways to improve our business. Okay, but this is something that if you as a business owner, if it's just yourself as a solopreneur, or if you have a manager and many employees, this is something that you want both yourself and everybody else doing every single day. So right from the biggest companies to the smallest companies, the companies who adopt this concept are the most successful by far. So again, invented by Toyota many years ago, it is the focus on the small improvements. You can make big improvements, but this is really the focus on small improvements. Used by all of the largest, most profitable companies. In many industries, such as production or automotive production, you don't have a choice but to adopt this philosophy. You have to do this to survive. If you apply it to a small business, then it puts you ahead of everybody else. Okay, so what we've done at the Productivv Academy is, again, adapted this into simple methods that small businesses can use, and I'll go through some principles now in a few minutes. And if there's any such thing as a secret weapon for any size of a business, big or small, then this is it for small business owners. So one of the concepts in lean, it is a very big concept. If you go on and Google it, there's just all kinds of strategies out there. We've simplified it down. But one of the concepts is called 5S, and it's as simple as, if you have an office that's disorganized, and you go through the process of getting rid of the things you don't need, as you see in the picture here, anything that you do keep around this, obviously a workshop, you actually find a place for everything, so everything is always in its right place. So what you're doing is reducing the wasted time of actually looking for things. In addition to organizing, you actually put processes in place so that everything stays organized. So that's the key. So we won't get into this much right now beyond this. But first of all, like I said, I've taken lean, which is something that it is a little complicated, but we've simplified it down to a few principles. And it's as simple as, on a daily basis, when you're running your business, it's taking things that bug you and fix them. So if it's a case, if you're working in your office and there's something that you can't find because somebody else is always moving it, you take it, you give it a home, you mark it, it always finds its way back. So again, fix the things that bug you. It's all about eliminating the struggle. So these are things in your business where you're struggling with it on a daily basis. It could be finding a particular file. Well, if you're spending time finding a file, maybe you need to update your filing system, or there's many examples of that. Lean is fun. When you get started with this and you start to see the benefits from it, it actually becomes a fun thing to do. So for yourself and a few employees, yeah. So each small improvement results in a recurring cumulative saving. So if you look at the picture here, I had a conversation with a guy one time who had a garage, and he was telling me, this guy was from Germany actually. He was telling me that at the end of the day, somebody would sweep the floor, always put the broom back in a different place. Okay, so what they did is exactly what you see in the picture. They took the broom, they made a place for it, and the process is, when you're finished with the broom, you always put it back. So the next person that goes look for it, he doesn't waste that time every day. Okay, so what that ends up being is a little bit of time, multiple times a day, multiple times a week, but it ends up being a recurring saving for the next 10, 15, 20 years that you're running your business, because you made that one small change. And it's much easier and effective to get into the habit of identifying and implementing many small improvements as opposed to looking for the big ones. So get into the habit of eliminating waste and to find these little improvements is really the principles. And as a business owner, it's design your systems, then improve, improve, improve. It's your most important job. So we use a simple formula as well whenever we find a waste item or improvement item. We look at the level of effort and cost to implement. In many cases, it's a 5-minute task to create a little sign, put a sticker on something, and basically it's done. Then we look at the recurring savings, and we do a simple calculation, calculate the return on investment. And what you're going to find when you start doing this, some things, they pay for themselves completely in the first week. After the first week, that's a recurring saving that the other ones are just going to build upon. So before you know it, you're at thousands of dollars a month, depending on your business. So of course, after you determine what the return on investment is, it's a go or no go decision. For many business owners, it's usually a go. So some examples for small business owners. First one is when you have difficulty sometimes finding files, is to implement a filing system with an improved naming convention to find files easier. So these are the types of things in the Productivv Academy that we have lots of different strategies pointing you to the right system, how to utilize that system, how to come up with a naming strategy of finding files. That's just one example. Identify a location for every item used in your business. So you've seen the picture here. Every item there has a place. The items are all marked. It has a home. It usually finds its way back without even trying. So again, all of these things are saving time. Implement a reorder point system for all consumables. So if you're a business, one gentleman here said he has a chocolate company. Well, implementing a reorder point system, when it gets down to a certain point, there's a card that says, hey, you need to reorder. You should never run out of anything again. Whereas most people I know, they're always running out of stuff and having to run to, whether it be the hardware store or Staples or wherever it is. It's just a common practice. One of the big tips is that we train business owners to use QR code links to instructional videos. So an example of this, if there's something that somebody needs to do specifically at a certain location, you put the QR code at that location, they scan it with their phone, and they'll get a little video of how to do that particular task. So all of a sudden, where you had a task where people were probably doing it different ways, not doing it right, quality wasn't that high, now all of a sudden they do it exactly right at the same time. Okay. So with that being said, what we offer at the Productivv Academy, we offer a business owner kickstart, which is basically an evaluation and an interview just designed to help you determine which direction that you should go in, whether it's a new business system or put some automating some processes. We also have our Productivv Business Owner Workshops, which will be a series of weekly group workshops that we've been running for a while now, and we'll be starting some more. And the main focus is on identifying and eliminating waste and strategies to do that, to get you into the habit. But there's also a lot more things that we integrate along the way to help you grow your business. And we also offer individual business process automation. Again, the main focus with what we do is actually training you to be able to do this as opposed to having us do it.